What's going down, good people? It's your boy GQ, and this is In the Lab, episode 2, not 22, but 2 here on the FTN Podcast Network. You can find the show on ftnfantasy.com, and while you're over there, make sure you're checking out all the other dope content that we have to offer, written content, video, audio, everything that you need, right? Derek Brown, Chris Meany, Steffi Smalls, Elliot Chris. I mean, it's just a lot of dope content dropping day in and day out. But I know y'all been missing old GQ. I know you were like, oh, the first episode of In the Lab was dope. What are we doing next? What's he gonna talk about next? And I'm just gonna be honest with you. You know me, I like to keep it real. There ain't a lot of shit going on right now in the football world. That's just the honest truth of it. Right now, we are at this period of football season where it's just kind of like stale takes, buy low, sell high, who to draft, who not to draft. A lot of people have not had their rookie drafts yet. Dynasty startup season. Scott Fishbowl is right around the corner. So it's just sort of a stagnant holding pattern as far as actionable NFL news and items, opposed to just sort of just noise and news and narrative-based takes. Like that's the honest reality of where we're at, right? But there are some silver linings and there are some things that we can take advantage of right now in Dynasty Fantasy Football. Now, before you take advantage of that, I just have to say that I encourage everybody listening to this show, everybody watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, because the experience and the stuff that we're doing behind the scenes to make the show look good is a hell of a lot different than what you're listening to. Like, listening to me is good. Please listen to me. When you wake up, when you go to sleep, think about me in your dreams.
What?
But if you're up and you're watching, YouTube is where you want to check out the show, right? So before you dive into the strategy of fantasy football, what you need to be doing for your dynasty teams, take a break, relax, take a vacation, leave the kids at home, take you and the missus, you and the mister, go somewhere, escape, and relax. Please, you ain't got to grind 24/7. You don't need to be sending out trades 24/7. You got to find some time to relax. Find some time to exhale, to enjoy life, especially after the year and a half that we've all had and been involved with COVID, with being locked down, with, unfortunately, a lot of people losing their jobs and things of that nature. If you have an ability to just step away, do it. I mean, I got to get away to Hawaii for a week, and I'm telling you, it was much needed. I feel rejuvenated. I'm excited to talk to you. I'm excited to jump behind the camera. Y'all don't know, because you're just watching the final take. I've started this show over like 10 times because I just didn't like the intro. Didn't like how I led in. But I'm feeling good now. I'm feeling like I got my sea legs back under me. The time is adjusted, but take some time to go enjoy life. I know you're listening and you're winning fantasy titles and you got this extra money. Take some of that. Take yourself on a vacation. Leave the kids behind. Leave the missus. Leave them. Take them. Do whatever the hell you need to do. But get away and reinvigorate your life, right? Reinvigorate your soul, your spirit, so you can come back fresh and ready to talk some shit and win some titles along the way. As I was away, I was keeping a pulse on all things NFL. I had to keep a pulse. I had to keep my feet on the ground. I couldn't just kick my feet up, swim with sea turtles, drink Mai Tais. So as I was away, I kept a pulse on what was happening in the NFL. I had to make sure that I was keeping up with the old Bird app. What did the people want to hear about? What are the hot topic items that are going on in the sports landscape right now? In particular, what are the things that are going on in the dynasty world that have implications for our fantasy teams here in 2021? And one of the players who received more hits, more conversation than any other player in the NFL. It wasn't Patrick Mahomes. It wasn't Jonathan Taylor. It wasn't Lamar Jackson. It was a 5'8", 180-pound wide receiver from the Republic of Texas, my home state, one Cole Beasley, the Buffalo Bills. Get this, all-pro wide receiver. Some of y'all may be thinking, Ray, you got that wrong. No, Cole Beasley was voted to the second-team all-pro team last season with DK Metcalf, with Justin Jefferson, with Calvin Ridley, and he joined his quarterback, Josh Allen, as all-pro wide receiver. Cole Beasley was all-pro at 32 years old, 5'8" slot receiver. Cole Beasley, we're talking about one of the best wideouts in the game. So I had to lead the show talking about an all-pro wide receiver because he insists that he will not take the COVID vaccine and he would rather retire before taking it, right? Fine. Cole Beasley is an accomplished rapper. He's probably made a ton of money in the NFL to where when he's done, he can go pursue his rap career and he and Le'Veon Bell can make all the mixtapes in the world that they want to. But from a fantasy football implication, how does his refusal to take the vaccine and threat of retiring impact the Buffalo Bills? How does that hurt Josh Allen? How does that affect? Does it hurt Josh Allen? Does it hurt the receiving core, right? We're looking at a receiving core that's pretty damn good with Stephon Diggs, Cole Beasley, young and emerging wide receiver in Gabe Davis. This would be a blow to a certain degree, but another part of me says, bye. If you want to retire, the Buffalo Bills will be just fine without you. Gabe Davis is younger, faster, probably more athletic, more spry at this age, and apparently safer because he has been vaccinated. So we don't have to worry about him missing time, or hopefully we won't have to worry about him missing time because he'll be fully vaccinated. Now, we just saw Chris Paul get dinged. He had to sit out a couple of games. He tested positive for COVID. I don't know his vaccination status, nor is that my business. But when you're talking about the Buffalo Bills, what should you do in Dynasty if you have Cole Beasley? All pro or not, I bet you couldn't trade him for a second-round pick. Maybe you can get a third-rounder for him. My likely advice would be to just hold him. Just hold him. He's probably going to play. We see threats of holding out and retiring all the damn time. But when rubber meets the road and Cole Beasley wants to get that six-figure paycheck every single week, I'm pretty sure he's going to show up and participate regardless if he wants the damn vaccine or not. Now, in the event that he follows through with his threat and he decides to go submit his videos on MTV or BET, you need to go roster Gabe Davis and even a little deeper than that, Marquez Stevenson. You need to get some of these young guys who have upside, who may be able to do something in the future. I know they have Emmanuel Sanders on the team. He's old as shit too. At least he's a couple of years removed from his Achilles tendon tear, and he's probably going to slide into that Cole Beasley role. And ironically, they both played at SMU, so it just sort of makes sense that if Beasley wants to step away, Emmanuel Sanders slides into that role, Gabe Davis is doing his thing, Josh Allen is going to be just fine with or without unvaccinated. He should change his rap name. No Vax, you know what I'm saying? Lil Vax, Lil Vaxy, Little Vax B, Little Vax B, Vax B, Vax Beasley. He should change his rap name, his performance name to that, because we don't care. If you don't want to take it and you don't want to play, we'll gladly take Emmanuel Sanders for seasonal leagues, and we have still been investing in Gabe Davis. So, Cole Beasley, thank you for your service. We appreciate your all-pro nod last season and what you did for our respective fantasy teams. But if you want to leave, goodbye, au revoir, adios. We'll see you later, big dog.
Bye, Felicia.
Now, sticking with the Texas-sized theme of this show, some of the 3 hottest items coming out of this great country of Texas right now in the sporting news world. Number 1, the fastest woman alive, Sha'Carri Richardson. She's so fast. She lit up the Olympic trials. She's swagged out. She's blowing out women. You know that scene off Superbad where he's like throwing up. He says, fastest kid alive. He was running away from him. That's Sha'Carri Richardson. She's the fastest woman alive, and we are so proud that she's going to represent this great country in the Tokyo Olympics. Sha'Carri Richardson doing the damn thing right here from the state of Texas. And the second probably most popular Texas sports-sized theme of the world is our right, our constitutional right to carry weapons with no permit. That's what we do. That's what we're at. That is what us Texans, we want quick news, we want quick food, and we want to have a quick trigger finger. So now we can carry weapons, or pretty soon we can carry weapons with no permit. What could possibly possibly go wrong? And I hear everybody saying, oh, so many other states do it and there's no problem. Ain't no damn state like Texas. So let's see how that plays out. But the most important topic coming out of this great state has to do with, yes, the Dallas Cowboys. That's all people are talking about. Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Ezekiel Elliot. It's Dallas. It's Dallas. We talked about the Buffalo Bills and how efficient and how prolific that offense was last season. We give the Kansas City Chiefs their just due every single season with Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But the Dallas Cowboys, if you're talking about a team who could potentially score more points than everybody else, average more points per game than anybody in the NFL, and absolutely light it up on the offensive side of the ball, look no further than every single offensive player that the Dallas Cowboys have, because they are going to print money in 2021. Listen, I know because I tweeted out, y'all don't like Zeke Elliott. You don't like him. Elliot Chris, you my dog. I know you don't like Zeke. I get it. I understand that you don't like this player. He's not good at football, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to give you 90 million reasons why Zeke's job is safe, not just for 2021, but for 2022 and probably 2023. Zeke is 25 years old, folks. 25. He is just now hitting his stride and his prime as a running back in the NFL. And I get it. Before you stop me and say, well, he's got over 1,500 career touches in his NFL career, and players like Nick Chubb are sub 1,000. Hell, Derrick Henry only has 2 seasons with 300-plus touches in his career. I get it. Well, Ray, Zeke looked terrible last year. Did you see his yards per carry? Did you see how much better Tony Pollard looked than Zeke Elliott? Yeah, but the checks that Jerry Jones has to write every week, there's a hell of a lot more going to that guy number 21 than this going to number 20. And for that reason, amongst many others, Zeke will be and continue to be a focal point of the Dallas Cowboys offense. Now, let's talk about some of the reasons why. And this should come as to no surprise to anybody. It should just be a universal and fundamental truth that we understand and recognize that a running back needs an offensive line. A running back needs an offensive line. And you know what? For some strange reason, if they don't have an offensive line, damn it, they at least need a good quarterback in order to be effective. Well, let me fill you in on something, people. Dallas had none of that in 2020. Their offensive line stunk, and they were rolling out Garrett Gilbert and Ben DiNucci, Ganoki, and they had the Red Rifle Andy Dalton. That's what they had after about 5-6 weeks of the season when Dak snapped his leg in two like a toothpick. Now, good for Dallas, good for us fans, good for you fantasy managers. Dak looks back. Dak looks back. Rain Dakota Prescott is back on his high horse, and he is going to sling the ball around all over the field, and all will be well from a passing attack standpoint. Now, this is year 2 in Mike McCarthy's system. I know Kellen Moore's still the OC, but it's still Mike McCarthy's team. His footprint has just been like jammed in there just a little bit more, so there should be more continuity, more consistency, more familiarity with the system. Now, back to Ezekiel Elliott. What does Zeke need in order to thrive? Well, damn near what every other running back in the NFL needs, and that's an offensive line. And let me lay something on you real quick for those who may not remember. Dallas was down, not 1,
not 2, not 3,
but 4 offensive linemen in 2020. Now, these weren't 4 just run-of-the-mill old linemen that you can find off the street, replace them. 3 All-Pros and 1 up-and-coming Pro Bowler. Lyle Collins, Tyron Smith, Travis Frederick, and Zach Martin. Tyron Smith, 2 games. Zach Martin, 10. Lyle Collins, 0. Travis Frederick, 0 because he retired. Name a running back that's going to thrive in that situation, let alone a running back that loses 3 All-Pros, 1 Pro Bowler, and their Pro Bowl, All-Pro caliber quarterback, Dak Prescott. The odds were all stacked against Ezekiel Elliott in 2020, and he still still had over 290 carries, had over 40 receptions. He was still a volume-based king. I know that his overall fantasy finish in PPR formats as RB9 is sort of like, we don't really care. Like, yeah, he's a top 10 running back, but what were his fantasy points per game? I believe he's like 14th in the NFL in fantasy points per game in 2020. But I'm just here to remind you that as I'm looking at ADP, fly across the screen, fly across the phone, fly across the sky, and I'm seeing Zeke Elliott drafted outside of the top 10, outside of the top 15 in super flex dynasty startups. That is a mistake, people. That is a mistake. He has not reached Adrian Peterson levels of decrepit. He has not reached the corpse of Frank Gore. He is 25 years old. 25. I don't give a shit about all those total carries because up to this point, I don't care. 90 million reasons why Zeke is going to get the ball. Now, there's a good chance that Tony Pollard's usage increases to a certain degree. Okay, fine. But anybody out there truly thinking that Tony Pollard is a better, listen to me, better running back than Zeke, you're out of your damn mind. That is asinine. It's ludicrous to even insinuate a player of Ezekiel Elliott's caliber being less than a Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard is a fantastic complementary piece to a primary proper bell cow, which is one Ezekiel Eugene Elliott. I don't even know if that's his middle name, but it sounds like it could be. But Tony Pollard is not a better running back than Zeke. And when you're talking about seasonal leagues, for this season, hell yeah, Zeke is money. You get Zeke, he's still going to get the ball over 300 times. Volume, opportunity, king, especially when you're probably going to be more efficient because the situation around you has improved dramatically. And in dynasty leagues, yes, in dynasty leagues, Zeke Elliott is right now a screaming freaking value because he's being valued as a player that's not even top 15 at the position. If you truly believe that Ezekiel Elliott is done, you think he's toast, nothing left, he'll never be good, he's a shell of himself, then fine. I can't help you. Nothing I'm going to say is going to help change that perception of one Ezekiel Elliott for you. But those of you who are still kind of on the fence, I hope that the inclusion of 4 Pro Bowl offensive linemen, or 3 Pro Bowl offensive linemen, Travis Frederick is gone. He will not be back. But the young rookie that they got out of Wisconsin last year, they drafted Tyler McGovern. Hopefully Connor Williams put on some more weight. I know they signed Nishke as a nice swing piece for that offensive line. Listen, Dallas's offensive line is going to be very much improved. The pass catchers are better. The quarterback is back. That elevates the entire offense. And although Elliot Chris is going to tell you that Ezekiel Elliott is toast and he's not good, take my word for it. Volume is king. The talent is still there, and the situation around one Ezekiel Elliott has improved tenfold. Invest in Zeke in 2021. But good old Twitter didn't let me down. Y'all know how to just deliver. Y'all know how to just write the content for you, boy. And boy, oh boy, Tua Tagovailoa, the Miami Dolphins' second-year quarterback. There's just a day doesn't go by. A day doesn't go by where we don't hear about Tua. About Tua stinking. About Tua being absolute trash. Terrible. Not good. Forget about Tua. He's done. And there's an interesting development. This happened a couple of weeks ago, but still comes up today. Tua, in practice, at minicamp in June, threw not 1.
Not 2, not 3, not 4.
But 5. 5 interceptions in practice. 5 of them.
Not a game. We talking about practice.
5 INTs during a drill that was intended for the quarterbacks to throw the ball into tight windows inside of a monsoon. There was rain pouring down from the high heavens that landed onto his hand, that got on the ball, that just maybe a monsoon levels of rain affected those throws, but nonetheless, He is credited for 5 interceptions, and boy, did y'all have a time with that one. He sucks. He stinks. Trade him. Get rid of him. He's no good. That's why he's being drafted in Dynasty Superflex startups as the quarterback 16. 16. Tua. Name 4 wide receivers that were catching passes from him last year. I'll wait. I'll even try to help out. Jakeem Grant, Devontae Parker, Preston Williams wasn't there, Albert Wilson, Lynn Bowden. That's it. I don't really know anybody else. They had no offensive weapons to speak of last season in Miami besides Myles Gaskin, Mike Gesicki, and Devontae Parker. And not only did that, they were rotating quarterbacks in and out like Urban Meyer did with Chris Leak and Tim Tebow back at his time in Florida. It's Ryan Fitzpatrick. It's Tua. It's Fitzpatrick. He's leading the team really well. They're going by. You got to start Tua. You start Tua. Tua stinks. Take Tua out. Put Fitzpatrick in. But then Tua starts the next week. There was no consistency and continuity to that offense whatsoever. But you know what happened? They made a commitment. They made a commitment, damn it, to Tua in the offseason. They made a commitment to him in the draft. And they're committed to him right now. They are committed to Tua right now. They spent the number 6 overall pick on a wide receiver, not the Heisman Trophy winning wide receiver, not Rashad Bateman. They got Jalen Waddle. They paired him up with this collegiate teammate, Jalen Waddle, who is one of the most dynamic wide receivers in this 2021 class. I understand they didn't produce as an alpha, and I don't even necessarily think he's going to be an alpha at the next level. But when you get a playmaker like Jalen Waddle, where all you have to do is get the ball out quickly and accurately, that's what Tua does. Jalen Waddle will help raise that entire offensive team's versatility, their scheme, what they can do. Not only did they bring in Jalen Waddle, they brought in Will Fuller. And I know his hamstrings are pumped up full of HGH right now, but by the time the season rolls around and his suspension is lifted, his legs will have flushed out all the human growth hormone, and he will be back to 8-9 game Will Fuller that we're grown and accustomed to loving and being frustrated with. But when he's on the field for those 8 or 9 games, he's going to be magnificent. He's one of the best downfield receivers in the NFL. Now, I know Tua doesn't have a big arm, but just throw it out there as far as you can and let Will Fuller run under it. You get back Preston Williams. You've got the clasher in Devontae Parker. You get Myles Gaskin back healthy, and you also have the athletic freak at tight end in Mike Gesicki. I don't understand the community hate around Tua. He's a young second-year quarterback. Are you all really ready to Josh Rosen this kid like this fast? He hasn't even started a full season. Joe Burrow didn't start a full season. Justin Herbert didn't start a full season.
What you talking about, Willis?
Justin Herbert's pretty damn good, though. We ain't putting them in the same category. But you get what I'm saying. Give the kids some time. They've upgraded the pass catchers. Austin Jackson is back for another season. Offensive line is still intact. And they've got a very, very good defense. Is Tua going to be this elite level Patrick Mahomesian type quarterback? Probably not. But you know what you look for as your quarterback 2 in Superflex stability. A quarterback that's got weapons around him that maybe he doesn't have to do a lot. You know, and as we sit back and think about this, man, I mean, what's the difference between Tua and Mac Jones? Neither of them have cannons of an arm. Both of them are accurate quarterbacks. Both of them have some mobility to their game. Tua even a little bit more. But that's what you're looking at with that type of prospect, with this type of player. I am still very, very high on Tua. Although he may not have this elite ceiling, Tua is not a 5 INT type quarterback. In fact, he only had 1 game in 2020 with multiple interceptions, and that came in the final game of the season versus the Buffalo Bills, who damn near went to the Super Bowl. So are we really about to say that this player, who never demonstrated that he was turnover prone in college, has only thrown multiple interceptions in 1 game throughout his early NFL career, that he's just some bust? Listen, if you take nothing from this show, here's what I want you to remember. 1, purchase Cole Beasley's rap album when it comes out. 2, don't make dumb decisions right now at this juncture of the fantasy season. Okay? It's difficult. I know those picks and those players feel like money burning holes in your pocket, and you just got to do something. You got to make a trade. You got to do something idiotic right now just because there's nothing else to do. But sometimes the best trade and the smart decisions and the smart things in life are what you don't do, right? Not answering the phone at 1 a.m. when he calls. You just don't. There's probably nothing good going to come out of that situation. So don't do it. You just wait until the next day. Hey, how you doing? What did you want? I know you called me at 1 a.m. What was it that you really needed at that point in time that I could help you with? Can I assist you today? And then 2, not making dumb trades, okay? You just don't want to do that right now. You don't want to let this narrative-driven news, because that's all it is, beat writers reporting what they see, getting to see players for the first time, and us fantasy analysts overreacting to said news. And that is exactly what happened with Tua. That is exactly what's going on with Ezekiel Elliot. And that's not exactly what's going on with Cole Beasley. React to that, because if he's going to retire, you need to make some plans to get Gabe Davis on your team and Emmanuel Sanders. But that is what we do on In the Lab. We talk about all things sports. We have fun with it. I appreciate y'all rocking with your boy, checking out the content. Don't panic on Tua. Don't panic on Zeke. Make sure you use the promo code ALLGAS, and I'll be back to holler at y'all next week. I'm out of this thing. Peace.